We're going to tell you about the horrible case of the Kowalski family. Maya Kowalski was 10 years old. She showed up at All Children's Hospital in Florida. Her parents had treated her with ketamine because she had a very rare condition that caused her to have pain all over her body. As a result of Florida's mandatory reporting laws, they actually accused her family of child abuse because of a dispute over the treatment for that child. Again, this is a rare medical condition. Parents weren't allowed to see Maya Kowalski. Her mother ultimately committed suicide. There was a lawsuit that was brought. The jury awarded over $200 million to the family, and an appeals court just vacated that ruling. Was it the right decision? We'll discuss. Philip Dubé is a court-appointed counselor and legal analyst and joins us now. So, Philip, how should people think about this verdict being vacated by the appellate court in the matter involving the Kowalski family?
Justice was served. I'm telling you, justice was denied initially in this case. I hate to say it. And I got to tell you, Matt, and I'm sure a lot of attorneys will agree, if I ever get out of law, it's because of judges. This particular trial judge just simply ignored the immunity statute for all the practitioners in the hospital. There is a law where this occurred in the state of Florida for what's called mandated reporters, meaning if a medical practitioner or a hospital staffer reasonably suspects child abuse, abandonment, or neglect, they are lawfully required to phone it in to the abuse hotline. If they fail to call it in, it's a felony. You can go to prison in the state of Florida for up to 5 years for failing to call it in. So in this particular case, what happened was the hospital staff suspected that this child was the target of Munchausen syndrome by proxy at the hands of the mother. The problem was it turned out that the practitioners were incorrect, that she had a disease called complex regional pain syndrome that's quite unusual in children her age. And basically what it is just chronic diffuse pain throughout the body that's a neurological response to some type of trauma or surgery. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. So the family had her in ketamine treatment to try to manage the pain and the symptoms and the lesions on her body. The problem was the hospital wanted to take her off of it. The family complained. And now the jury has come back with an award of over $261 million based on immunized conduct. The trial judge slashed it down, I think, to $213 million, thinking he was doing the hospital. It was Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital a favor. But then what happened? The Florida Court of Appeals came in and threw the whole thing out and said that this judge caused immunized conduct to permeate this trial and gave the jury a skewed view of what went on in that hospital, when in fact all was privileged. All of it was legally privileged.
Well, so and privileged and immunized by the hand of the state legislature. And I think that begs a policy question, because I remember when a lot of these mandatory reporting laws were passed, it was because there were instances of abuse and neglect, and people just kept quiet, and then we ended up with dead children on our hands in a variety of circumstances. Do you think that the pendulum has just swung too far the other way, where now, as a result of mandatory reporting laws, there is this obligation, even when there is a sincere dispute about treatment, to elevate that to potential child abuse?
No, in this particular case, remember the standard is whether or not the individual reasonably suspects abuse, abandonment, or neglect. And you had a child who kept presenting with bizarre symptoms of pain, had lesions on her body. She could barely walk. She was wheelchair bound. But whenever she was away from the care of her mother and father, she miraculously got better. And that is a classic characteristic of Munchausen syndrome by proxy. So all that really matters is that under the law, they reasonably suspect the abuse and they report it. And once they report it, then social workers come in from the Department of Children and Family Services to investigate it. And if they feel it has merit, they then go into court. And they went into court to have this child removed from the home, and the court issued a sheltering order. So in the end, it was designed really to protect the child. So I don't think the pendulum has swung by way of immunizing reports. Where I think the pendulum has swung is juries running amok with these types of awards.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.